Hello everybody, welcome back to DayZ, and today I am going to walk you through how you can eliminate DayZ server hosting fees forever. How you can actually open up what I call and host a self-hosted server. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to recommend you do is look at the link in the description for my GitHub and download. Click the link, you'll get to this screen, and then click download zip to download some of the files you'll need. One of the files that I set up is called Instructions for Installing Your Own Self-Hosted DayZ Server. It's a PDF file. It is, 4 or 5 pages. But it does take you through these instructions step by step. So I'm going to suggest that you download and print that if you can. As far as the type of computer you do not need a super powerful computer. I would recommend, actually insist that you have an Ethernet connection and not a Wi-Fi connection on a separate computer. It can be an old Dell computer. I have been using the method I'm going to show you since the beginning of September 2025. Today is October 20th, 2025, so almost 2 months. And I'm currently hosting multiple servers. I'm going to open up a third, but I need to get some more RAM memory first. So, going on to the instructions, the first thing we do, as in all things DayZ, is you start with Steam and click Library, click Home, and then over here on the left-hand side, look for DayZ Server. You may have to search for it. DayZ Server. Click on it and click Install to install it to your computer. Alright, now that the DayZ server is launched, the next thing would be to take a look at the GitHub files that I downloaded. They are in a zip file. Open this up. And you'll see serverdz.original and start.bat. I would just copy them both into my DayZ server files. Now if you don't know where those are, here's how you can find out. Hit your mods, open up your DayZ launcher, hit mods, and then you're going to say open folder in Windows Explorer. And this will open up. You're going to get this caution message. They don't want you to touch any of the files. But this opens up your mod folder in your DayZ subfolder. So you want to open up your DayZ server subfolder. So click up button once, up button twice, and then you'll see DayZ server. And here is your DayZ server folders, and let me get over to that archive. Highlight both of them. I'm going to hit copy, and I'm going to go over to the DayZ server folder. I'm going to hit paste. I've done this before, so it says this destination has 2 files with the same names. I'm going to just say replace the files. Okay, so now you're going to have to set up the serverdz.cfg file. And again, this is named original. The first thing I would do is I would rename it. I'm going to call it, because I've already done this, I'm going to call it serverdz.cfg. And then right click on the file. I use Notepad++ to edit the files. And I'm looking at the instructions so I don't miss any steps. Let's go ahead and change a few names. So the host name, example name, I'm going to put billymac local hosted server. Okay. If you want to password protect it, you can. You can also set up an admin password. You can set up a description, meaning that is the text that players would see in the browser. You can enable the whitelist. Maximum players equals 60. So I've been doing 30 slot servers, but you can do 60. Verify signatures, force same build, disable VON, VONC, code C quality, shard ID. The disable third person option is here, disable crosshair, personal lighting config, system time. So this tells you you can set the system time and date that the server starts, and over here on the right it gives you the format. And then it even gives you the format in real time. And I am going to go ahead and just copy, and I'm going to paste that in. So this server is going to start on April 8th of 2015. I'm going to say, I'm going to change this from 17. I'm going to change it to 8. And minute 20, I'm just going to call it 00 minute. Server time acceleration. So you can accelerate the time. You can accelerate nighttime. Server time persistence, meaning do you want the server's time to stay constant? So when it resets and it comes back up, do you want it to reset back to April 8th, or do you want it to continue where it left off? If you want to continue where it left off, you hit 1. And then you'll go through another important lines. Down here at the bottom is the class missions. You tell it what map you're using. And we're just going to leave this at Chinaris, but you can select Enoch, Sakal, any of the, if you install other mods, you're going to have to change it and tell it right there. When you're all done, close the file, save changes, and now you move on to the next step, which is your start.bat file. Start-original. I am going to go ahead and rename the file, and I'm just going to call this start2 so I can keep it straight in my head. Right click the file and edit in Notepad++. And the first thing you'll have to do is to, says set server name equals, and this is apparently the person that authored this file is named Jim, because it says Jim's DayZ server. Where is my server DZ2? So I always like to make it exact, so I'm going to copy from my serverdz.cfg file. Set server location, C:\program files, Steam, sitemaps, common DayZ server. There's a set BEC location line, and I tell you in the instructions to you can delete the BEC references. They're currently not used, but I left them there so that if you ever needed them, that you would have them. Set server port, 2302. You definitely want to leave that. Set server config, and I changed that to serverdz.cfg. Set server CPU, title, CD, server location, server name started. This tells you it's going to start. Then down here is a CD/D BEC location. You can go ahead and delete that. And the next line says start bec.exe. You can delete that. And then last but not least, task kill. IM space bec.exe, delete that. Those are the, just to get started, those are your basic changes. I'm going to go ahead and save my changes. And then go ahead and try to run your start.bat file. Start. Start2.bat. So just double click that. Saying publisher cannot be verified. Are you sure you want to run this software? I'm going to say run. And then what happens is that this opens up. And then there is another window that opens. It popped up on my other monitor. I'll show you here. And you can now start to see all of the commands. There is a line that I think I may have forgotten. Says scripted variables corrupted. I want to look back at that start dot. I don't remember if there was a config. Okay. It is DayZ server negative config, and it names your config file. And so I wanted to make sure that was there. All right, so once the server is running, you can open your DayZ launcher, click on servers, and click on LAN. And we'll refresh, and there it is, BillyMac's locally hosted server. I am getting a kind of a large ping, but we'll go ahead and try to join the server. I don't have any mods loaded, so don't know why, but it closed my server window or my launcher window. But my server is still running. If you can see it in your LAN tab, and then just go ahead and try to click join. And here I am on the coast somewhere as a freshie. All right, so now that we know that the server is working locally, we can go ahead and leave. And then to shut down the server, what you have to do is you have to close both of these windows. This window and then this window. So now that the server, we know the server is locally hosted and it's local only. It can't be seen by anybody outside your network. If you had another computer on your network, you could log into the server and play it right now. Moving on to step 7, set your computer's IP address to a dedicated IP address. I didn't want to tell you where to go for these instructions, so just open up a Google window, type in how to set up a computer's dedicated IP address. There are multiple places on the internet. It also might be called a static IP address, but go ahead and change your IP address settings on your computer to make it a dedicated IP address, and then restart your computer. All right, you're back. We're going to move on to, I don't know where those instructions are. Here they are. We're on instruction 8, which is set up incoming TCP port permissions in your computer's firewall. We are about 20 minutes in on this video, and we've already got the server running, so now we just need to work on firewall settings. In order to do that, this is where these steps that I've typed out will help tremendously. So you'll hit your Windows Start button. I'm on a Windows 11 computer. You'll hit Settings, and this window pops up. If you search for Firewall, Windows Defender Firewall will come up, and click Advanced Settings. All right, so I'm going to walk you through this. Next, you'll click Inbound Rules, and then on the right side, click New Rule. And you want to set a port and hit the Next button. We're going to do TCP ports first, and then it asks you for a specific local port. For your first server, do 2302 to 2305 and hit the Next button. Select Allow the connection. Select Next. Make sure all three of these are checked: domain, private, and public. And you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to delete these after the fact, so I'm just going to call this delete this one, but you can call it whatever you want. It does not matter. So that is your incoming TCP port permissions. Now you have to do incoming UDP port permissions. So go Inbound Rules, New Rule. You want to select a port. You want to select UDP. You want to go 2302 to 2305. Hit Next. Allow the connection. Again, make sure all three of these, domain, private, and public, are checked. And name it whatever you want. Next up, and again, I am just referring to the printed instructions document that came from my GitHub. You want to set up your outgoing port permissions. So you select Outbound Rules, New Rule. Again, port. We'll do your TCP first in your specific ports again, 2302 to 2305. You'll hit Next. Now, Windows will default you here to block the connection. You want to change that to allow the connection. Again, domain, private, and public should be checked. You'll hit Next. Name it whatever you want to name it. And then next up, you want to do your outbound rules, but you want to do the same thing. You want to do it for UDP port. So again, you'll hit New Rule, then hit Port. Next, select UDP, your specific ports again, 2302 to 2305. Hit Next. It defaults to block the connection. You want to change it to allow the connection. Make sure all three are checked: the domain, the private, the public. hit next, and name it whatever you want. So now your port permissions are set up in your Windows computer's firewall, and you want to set your network to private. Let me show you how to do that. So close this down, get to settings, and I'm going to close it all the way out, but start settings, and then select network and internet. You want to click properties, and believe it or not, you want to change this to private network. Then you'll hit X to close this window, and that will save your settings. And one more settings on Windows, go your start bar, settings. You want to make sure your computer's discoverable. So your best bet, select settings, search manage, advanced, oops, I misspelled manage. Manage, advanced, sharing settings. Under private networks, network discovery, you want to make sure that's turned on, and then you are all set for that. And the last step is we have to set up port forwarding. This is the part of the video that, unless you happen to have the exact same router as I have, your steps are going to be a little different. But I walk you through right here how to do it step by step on my router. So you have to start out by accessing your router. You could typically do that by hitting 192.168.1.1. I was logged into this earlier, so it logged me right in. But I will log out so you can see the login screen. It asks you for a username and password. If you don't know the username and password, check the bottom of your router. Mine is admin, and I'm not going to tell you what my password is. But once you're logged in, look around a little bit. My settings, I found them under the WAN tab, which stands for Wide Area Network. And then there was this tab, Virtual Server Port Forwarding. Now, I'm set up for 3 different servers already, but I will walk you through the steps. So, what you'll see here is you have to enable port forwarding, and that on my router there's a switch. It's right here. Then you would hit add profile, and in this drop down box where it says TCP, UDP, or both, select both, and you'll see the external ports. There's external ports, internal ports, and the internal IP address. So you'll select both. Then you'll select your external port, 2302. You don't need to do an internal port. Then you need to do your IP address. And this should give us an error that entry already exists. Because there it is right there. So you will repeat that process for ports 2303, 2304, and 2305. And then when that is done, you need to do one more, and it's port number 27016, and this is a little different. Under this one, you'll still select both, but you'll put 27016 in both the external and the internal ports. And then you'll enter your IP address. And again, it will give me an error because I just created a duplicate. Now, then you are done. What I say to do at this point in the instructions is to reboot your router and reboot your computer. Pause the video, go ahead and do that, and then come back. Welcome back. Now, in order to run your DayZ server, you open your DayZ server folder. We're going to open up start. First of all, let me relaunch this browser and show you. There's only 2 servers running right now. Those are my regular 2 servers. And we are going to select start server start 2. I got to tell it to run. And then this second little window will pop up. Let me bring it over here. And then once you see the server in your LAN tab, you will be able to run it, and you should be able to see it in your community tab. In the background, there are some things that I didn't do. This computer is not actually that IP address, so I can't show you that. But if you can see it in your computer tab, community tab and your LAN tab, your server is ready to go. Now, once you can see it, what you can do is you can click here, and then right down here is your server's IP address and the port, which is what you can give to your friends so they can direct connect to the server. And that is it. If you like this video and this content, please give me a like and a subscribe. It really helps me out. If you've got the resources, look in the instructions. Shoot me a couple of bucks on PayPal. Thank you very much, and make it a great day.